It's Cubs Authentic Fan Night here on NBC Sports Chicago. It's also Javier Baez Bobblehead Night. Make sure you share your photos with us all game long using the hashtag AuthenticFan, and we may show it later on in the broadcast as the Cubs welcome in the Arizona Diamondbacks to start a 4-game set. Welcome to the booth. Beautiful night. Jim DeShays and Len Casper with you. The Cubs won 3 of 5 against the St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, Anthony Rizzo continues in the leadoff spot because he just keeps getting on base.
Yeah, he keeps getting on base. Cubs keep scoring runs, so why would you mess with a good thing? Anthony had been scuffling. He was 0 for 21 when Joe made the move, put him back in the leadoff spot, and he has responded big time. 15 hits in 27 at-bats. Let's do the quick math. That's a .556 batting average. He's doing some slugging. He's taking his walks. He's hitting the ball on a line all over the diamond.
Paul Goldschmidt, one of the premier first basemen. He was an all-star again this year, but based on the month of May, you wouldn't have known it. But then he bounced back and was the June player of the month.
Yeah, May, a bunch of strikeouts. He's getting beat by fastballs. There's a lot of talk about Goldschmidt in a steep decline. Obviously, that is not the case as he has responded in a big way, and he's done a lot of damage in his career against the Cubs.
Cubs will see 2 of the Diamondbacks' 3 all-stars tonight. Goldschmidt and Patrick Corbin, who actually hasn't won in about a month and a half, and Luke Farrell will make a spot start for the Cubs.
Yeah, Corbin has made 20 starts already, but he's only 6-4. Last time out at Atlanta, 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, but over his last 5 at .245, he's got a devastating slider. The Cubs are going to have to try to find a way to lay off that. Luke Farrell making his second big league start of the year. First one came in Cincinnati, spot start. He went 2 2/3.
So for the Cubs, they acquired Jesse Chavez recently, and he's already been great, has worked in back-to-back games. The Cubs are probably still in the mind of getting more bullpen help. In terms of the Diamondbacks, you know, they had led for much of the first half. They're now a game and a half out. They're on the outside looking in on the wild card. It'll be really interesting to see how they play it.
Yeah, when you think Diamondbacks, normally you think offense first and then pitching. That has not been the case this year. They've pitched very well. The lineup has not produced. So, you know, if the D-backs, do you go out and try to add a bat, or do you add an arm and say we're just going to try to out-pitch people? And the other question, of course, is who's available?
Right. This is the start of a big week for the Cubs. 4 against a playoff contender, the Diamondbacks, and then off to St. Louis for the weekend. Rizzo versus Goldschmidt. Cubs and the D-backs from beautiful Wrigley Field coming up on NBC Sports Chicago. And these fans have been sharing their Cubs fandom. Post your photos, use the hashtag #AuthenticFan, and you may see yourself on our broadcast later tonight. What a gorgeous evening. Wind's still blowing in, but not nearly as hard as the last 2 or 3 days. It might help the offense a little bit, although the Cubs offense doesn't really need the help, as they have been scoring runs generally in bunches. Luke Farrell will make his second start of the season, and he'll face the following Diamondbacks Southwest starting lineup. Written out by manager Torey Lovello. Former Cub John Jay, recently acquired from Kansas City, will lead it off. Paul Goldschmidt at first base, batting second. David Peralta hits third ahead of A.J. Pollock on the DL again this year. He's had a real tough time with injuries. Jake Lamb, the third baseman, bats fifth. Ketel Marte, the shortstop. Daniel Descalzo's had a real nice season. He's at second. Jeff Mathis, the catcher, real good behind the plate. Doesn't do a whole lot with the bat. Patrick Corbin actually has a higher batting average, and he'll hit ninth.
And the Cubs defensively on this fine evening. Ian Happ will play left field. Albert Almora Jr. made a spectacular catch yesterday. What new? He's done that all season long. He's in center. Ben Zobrist plays right. Brian and Russell man the left side of the infield. Second and first belong to Baez and Rizzo. Wilson Contreras is behind the plate. And our Lexus Experience amazing starting pitcher is Luke Farrell. 18 times out of the pen, once as a starter. All adds up to 3-3 with a 3.86 ERA. Good strikeout numbers. He's fanned 37 in 28 innings of work. League bats .222 against him. Likes to work up in the zone with a four-seam fastball. He'll throw both breakers, the slider and the curve. And the curveball a little bit more often here lately. He also has a split finger that he uses as a changeup.
Joliet, Illinois' Mark Carlson, the crew chief, will work home plate tonight. Bruce Dreckman is at first. Chad Fairchild at second, and Mike Estabrook over at third. First meeting of the season. As the next time the Cubs play the Diamondbacks, it will be late in the year, mid-September, at Chase Field. Here we go. It's Farrell to Jay to get us started. Ball one.
Well, let's get it out of the way early. It should be 1-0 Cubs right now because of the uniforms that the Diamondbacks are wearing. They should be fine to run. That's all I'm going to say about that, and we'll move on.
Okay. Swing and a miss. Elevated fastball that time.
Yeah,
71 degrees.
That's Luke's game. He's really good. Gets good life on the elevated fastball, and then he'll go downstairs with a tight slider. And as I mentioned, the curveball a little bit more here lately.
Fouled out of play off to the left. North wind at 8. So blowing in from left. Huge crowd, and they got here early tonight to grab a Javier Baez bobblehead.
Oh my goodness, the lines were circling the ballpark early this afternoon.
And Jay just got hit for the 12th time since he became a Diamondback and made his debut with them on June 8th.
That's pretty remarkable. I mean, this is the kindest of all hit by pitches. Just a little slow curveball up above the knee in a well protected area of the body.
Now Paul Goldschmidt, who has been a Cub killer in his career. He hit 5 homers against the Cubs in 6 games last season. 3 of those homers came in 1 game here at Wrigley Field on August 3rd. 2 off Jose Quintana, the other against Wade Davis.
We talked about his great turnaround after that rough May, but most recently he's scuffled here a little bit of late. Just 2 out of his last 16 with 11 strikeouts.
And he drills one to deep left, and it's caught by Ian Happ. Had to reach up and snag it before it hit the vines.
Yikes, you cannot hit a ball any harder than that. That made a loud noise, but Happ able to hang in there and haul it in.
So a loud first out, and the batter is David Peralta, their left fielder.
Yeah, he's been a big part of their success. Underrated guy, but outstanding numbers. 348 on base, 503 slugging percentage. Hits the ball hard. A lot of line drives.
Just getting started. Top of the first, game 1 of 4. This is, well, Jay was basically at the bag as Contreras lost the handle on the ball, so unable to advance. Another former Cub organization member down there at first, Dave McKay. Always great to see him. One ball, one strike. And a ground ball into right for a base hit. So the Diamondbacks 2 on with 1 out. And here comes A.J. Pollock, who was the National League Player of the Month for April before suffering a fractured thumb in mid-May.
Extended DL time seems to be an annual event for A.J. Pollock. He's an outstanding player. He's had a hard time staying on the field the last 2-3 seasons.
Notre Dame product. We've got Northwestern against Notre Dame here. You also have a real fun connection between Luke Farrell and the Diamondbacks manager, Torey Lovullo. Lovullo's ties to the Farrell family go back to 1993. He was a teammate with Luke's dad, John, with the California Angels, and then AAA Buffalo in the Indians system in 1995. Popped him up. Rizzo over near the first base dugout, will not have a play. Lovullo and John Farrell were together in the Indians organization. Lovullo served as a manager in their system. Farrell was the director of player development. Later, Lovullo served on John Farrell's staff in Toronto and then Boston. And tonight he's trying to beat John's son Luke.
I think he called John for some scouting report on his kid. I imagine there was some text shared though, right, between Torey and John.
Jason Hayward's got the Baez bobblehead in the dugout. One and one to Pollock. Here's the pitch, fouled off. 1-2.
Yeah, pitch count can be a little bit of an issue with Luke. You know, he's stretched out. He's making starts down in the minor leagues, so I don't think they have any concern about him being able to pitch into the 6th inning here tonight if he's effective. I would imagine they'd be thrilled to get 5, but style of pitching, the elevated fastball, that lends itself to a lot of foul balls and some deep counts.
Called foul, out of play.
Diamondbacks as a team batting .231. It's next to last in the National League, better than only the New York Mets. And it gets right-handed pitching. They're dead last, batting .223. Pollock has missed a bunch of time. Jake Lamb has missed time as well, so his numbers perhaps a little bit skewed.
into center, and the Diamondbacks are on the board. And here comes Joe, along with,
how did we get out of the way of that one?
I believe, Nick Frangella. Yeah. Farrell very fortunate. I'll tell you, Diamondbacks have hit the ball really hard here in the first inning.
Yep. Squared it up 3 times, 3 absolute rockets. It's a center cut, and it's coming right back at his head. He actually gets a little
left wrist
leather on it. Yeah.
Very fortunate.
Yeah, that fastball, it's either got to be down around the knees, up around the letters. It's that mid-zone heater that is going to cause problems, and I think Wilson's got to start mixing in a few more breaking balls here.
We have a story about another pitcher who wasn't nearly as lucky as Farrell last year. And the good part of the story is he's back and he's making his big league debut tonight. And there's a Cub connection there as well. Low on Jake Lamb, the third baseman. And I'll give you a little tease to that story.
Okay.
Said pitcher has a no-hitter in the 4th inning in his major league debut tonight.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I know who it is.
More later. Lamb in the air. Peralta tags. Here he comes. And it's 2-zip. Sac fly for Lamb. So 2-0, and now it's Ketel Marte. A switch batter, and he looks at a strike.
It's the slider. The curveball will be more 77 to 79.
Marte, a former Seattle Mariner, and that will allow Pollock to advance. Marte is only 24, so he might not get the reference, but you had to have some Ketel
hit explosion.
Yeah, some records back in the 1970s.
Yeah. The Holly's on there. Looking Glass with Brandy.
Yeah, Rocky Burnett. Towing the line.
Mm-hmm.
We'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Keystone Communications. Great to have you with us. The pitch up and in. And Marte lost his helmet.
I think the younger generation, they had the now 5, now 6, the compilation CDs.
That is going to get in, and it's going to be 3-0. Cole will go to second base. Diamondbacks, a big crooked number here in the opening inning. That one was not hit very hard.
No, but again, it was a breaking ball that stayed up mid-thigh here, and Luke's just having a hard time commanding his pitches right now. That's always an issue. Starting pitcher early on until you get settled in. You're hoping for a little good fortune maybe. A couple Atom balls, get into the dugout, regroup. It's not worked out for him. Other than the Goldschmidt line drive that Happ was able to run down.
Well, nothing new. The Cubs trailing at home. They have been the best comeback team in baseball. Yesterday, they're Major League leading 32nd. You don't want to really let this thing get away.
Yeah, this is not uncommon for the Diamondbacks either. They're tied for second in Major League Baseball in first inning runs.
76 now on the year.
They come out swinging this bunch.
Scalzo went around. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's had a real good year. Got an 852 OPS.
Yeah, it looks like he's bought into the get up on the plate a little bit, pull the ball, hit it in the air, and drive the ball more. A launch angle proponent. He's just 1 shy of his career best in terms of home runs. Hitting the ball in the air more than he ever has before and hitting it hard to the pull side.
Marte edges off of first. And Farrell's 2-2 is feathered out into right. Marte will hold at second base. 4 hits here in the first inning. And it brings up Jeff Mathis, the catcher. He's only using 3 catchers this season.
Just does not have the feel for that breaking pitch right now.
High for ball 1. They have John Ryan Murphy, right-handed hitting catcher, and former Cub Alex Avila also on their bench tonight.
Yeah, they got 3 catches. They're not getting a lot of production from the catching position, but they do have options.
Mathis has never been known for his offense. His career batting average matches what he's done this season, 198. 14th season in the major leagues, and he's still here because of all the other stuff he does behind the plate. And he drills one into the corner. Diamondbacks are going to get a couple more. A 2-run double. And light hitting Jeff Mathis. It's 5-0. That was unexpected.
Yeah, well, again, it was an off-speed pitch, but it stayed up, and Mathis able to jump all over it. And the Diamondbacks, it's not the right metaphor for a snake, it's more of a shark, but they smell blood in the water.
So Corbin will bat before he pitches, and he is not an automatic out, batting 200.
He's a very good athlete, was an outstanding basketball player in high school. The 2 outs in this inning, the rocket off the bat at Goldschmidt and a sac fly from Lamb.
A little low. Farrell making the start because the Cubs used all 5 of their starters in that series against the Cardinals. In fact, Farrell was getting loose in the 9th inning yesterday and was not needed. Kyle Hendricks will pitch tomorrow, then John Lester on Wednesday.
This is Luke's first big league appearance since July 11th. 2 scoreless innings of relief against the Giants. He did make a start for Iowa on the 16th. 3 scoreless innings. against the Cardinals AAA club on that occasion.
2-2. Jay started the game with a hit by pitch. He's on deck. Swing and a miss by Corbin, and the Diamondbacks put a 5. Cubs bats coming up. Cubs have won 15 of 20, but they're down 5 before they bat tonight. They're Southwest. Starting lineup: Anthony Rizzo stays in the leadoff spot, followed by Chris Bryant. Albert Almora Jr., second in the league in batting average, hits third. Baez on his bobblehead night ahead of another all-star Wilson Contreras. Addison Russell had a good day yesterday. He hit sixth. Ben Zobrist had a very nice series and average now up to 293. Ian Happ, a very dangerous 8-hitter ahead of the pitcher Farrell.
Diamondbacks defensively, they've committed 39 errors this year, second fewest in the league to the Washington Nationals. Peralta plays left. Pollock really good out there in center as the Chief Justice is in right tonight. Lamb, Marte, Descalso, Goldschmidt around the horn. Jeff Mathis behind the plate, and the Alexis Experience Amazing starting pitcher. I already introduced you to him because he got an at-bat there in the top of the first. It's a lefty, Patrick Corbin. He's 29, 6'3", 210, 6-4 with a 3.24 ERA.
His first pitch to Rizzo is a strike.
His MO is get ahead and then get you to chase his slider. He's got one of the best sliders in the game, and he leans heavily on it almost 40% of the time. Heater, curve, and occasionally a changeup. Slider is the out pitch.
Tons of swings and misses on the breaking stuff. Leadoff man presented by Binny's Beverage Depot. If Rizzo gets a hit, I like his chances too. Binny's will donate $100 to the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Now the splits on Corbin are interesting. Lefties are hitting 272 against them. Right-handed batters just 193, and a couple things may be at play there. A down and in slider to the right-handed hitters just chews them up. Maybe not quite as effective against the lefties, but also the quality of the left-handed hitters he's facing is probably really good.
Goldschmidt will get it to Corbin at the bag. Rizzo makes a rare out leading off the first inning.
It's a tough left-hander. A lot of times the only left-handed bats that are in the lineup are the elite hitters. If you had to face the likes of Rizzo and Votto and Matt Carpenter every day, you would probably yield a pretty high batting average, regardless of what hand you threw with.
Bryant with the 2 hits on Sunday, and the Cubs 7-2 series clinching win.
Slow breaking ball he just threw there. That's new this year. It's been fastball slider, but now he's swinging a slower breaking pitch as well.
StatCast AI is powered by AWS. And you see the Diamondbacks flooding the zone over on the left side. One and 2 on Bryant.
Corbin originally drafted and signed by the Angels. He was a second rounder in 2009 out of junior college in Florida. He's from Clay, New York, which is outside of Syracuse. And traded to the Diamondbacks, the Dan Heron deal in 2010.
Hit hard on the ground. Right at the shortstop, Marte in the shift. Corbin's hoping it goes a lot better this time around than the last time the Diamondbacks were here. He gave up 3 home runs. Rizzo, Happ, and Lester. John Lester, the first home run of his career. I was talking with John today, and he reminded me the Cubs won that game, I believe 16-4. John did not get through the 5th inning, so he didn't qualify for the win. It was our high-speed action powered by Xfinity. And I said, John, but you hit your first home run. He said, I'd give it back for the win. He's a true pitcher. That was one of Corbin's worst career starts. 10 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned. It is funny the things you remember, though, because I remembered the home run from that start, and he remembered the fact that he threw a bazillion pitches and couldn't get out of the 5th with a big lead.
Yeah, well, when your team scores 16 runs and you don't win, that tends to hang with you for a while.
Yeah.
Overall, he's 4-1 lifetime against the Cubs with a 4.25 ERA.
3-1 to Almora. A swing and a miss, and it's full on Albert. To third, it's foul. What do the Diamondbacks do best? Well, they got the second best ERA in the NL at 3.68. And defensively, they're really good. Best fielding percentage in the majors. Only 39 errors. Grayed out well some of the other team stats defensively. Moore fouled it off himself.
And Nick Ahmed, who's not in there tonight, shortstop, is one of the best in the business. Pollock, plus out there in center. Goldschmidt, very good. He's won 3 Gold Gloves.
Peralta's got a nice arm, former pitcher. Swing and a miss. So Corbin with a 1-2-3 first after his team gave him 5.
Welcome back to Wrigley with this Miller Lite game report. We saw Luke Farrell dodge a comebacker there in the first inning, and just over a year ago, Daniel Ponce de Leon wasn't so lucky as he was struck in the head by a line drive off the bat of Victor Caratini. This was in a AAA outing, a very frightening moment. Ponce de Leon needed emergency brain surgery. He was in the hospital in Des Moines for 3 weeks, and here 14 months later, he is making his major league debut for the Cardinals tonight, and Caratini rooting him on every step of the way.
It's awesome. It's awesome for him and for his family, and for me too. It's really scary moment last year, and wow, it's very happy. I'm very happy for him and for his family. Yeah. It's tough moment. I don't wanna miss his life. You know, he have family and he have 2 kids, so I feel bad in the moment. Yeah, I wanna stay in touch with him.
Caratini told me off camera, I mean, this was an instance where he had nightmares, guys, for weeks. He raced over. I mean, he made it to first, obviously, on this play, but raced over in that moment to make sure Ponce de Leon was okay. He says his wife and Ponce de Leon's wife, they have texted back and forth through this whole process. So certainly, he probably doesn't know he's throwing a no-hitter through 5 innings, right? But certainly happy to see him out there tonight.
All right, Kelly, thank you. As Paul Goldschmidt just hit another homer against the Cubs, and it's 6-0. We had the numbers for you earlier. That is his 14th career homer in 38 games against the Chicago Cubs. And he almost hit one in the first inning.
Yeah, I think the ball he hit in the first inning was hit harder. This one hit the opposite direction with a little loft to it. It's our 4th home run replay. It looks like a little cutter. Outer third and down a little bit, and Goldschmidt just covers it.
So 6-0. Peralta looks at a strike. Yeah, the Ponce de Leon story. He got hit in the temple, and it was bad. And you give Victor a lot of credit. That's deep to left. And Ian Happ, who was there when that awful play occurred, and he said it was very scary. I was talking with Ian before the game about it. But it's really cool that Victor kept in touch with him, and they've now forged a bond. And Ponce de Leon, as Kelly mentioned, is no-hitting the Reds through 5 innings in his debut. He was up earlier this year, JD, and available in relief, but never got into a game. So quite a comeback.
Yeah, remarkable.
Matt Carpenter 1 for 2 in that game with a single. They're scoreless in the top of the 6th. Cardinals and Reds. 1-0 on Pollock. And this might be one of those nights if Farrell can't get into some sort of rhythm where either he or somebody else is just going to have to eat up some innings. Cubs were faced with a situation on Friday in which they used 3 position players to finish an 18-5 loss. I mean, we're only in the 2nd inning. We've got a long way to go, but I don't want to let this thing get away even more than it has. Here it comes. Hard hit grounder to Bryant. Diamondbacks get a 1-out homer from Goldschmidt and lead early 6-0. Baez bobblehead, one of the best giveaways of the year. Very popular item tonight, and courtesy of Garrett Popcorn Shops.
These fine folks.
Oh,
right here.
yeah, we thank
Javi on the lid, the commemorative tin.
The fine folks from Garrett Popcorn, Chicago tradition since 1949, the official gourmet popcorn of the Chicago Cubs. And the Cubs and Wrigley Field partner, and JD's going to dig in.
Cheesy and caramel.
And here's Baez. That's convenient.
It's good producing right there.
I'm hearing a few fans chanting MVP. I'm trying to think of the last Cub who got the same type of treatment as Baez, as he has the Cubs' first hit and a big turnaround first. He'll hold with a single. Am I crazy for saying you got to go back to Sammy Sosa? I mean, when he comes up, you hear Javi, or MVP, or let's go Javi, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think
it's different.
Sammy, I think that's probably right. Yeah, well, there's been a lot of really good players between Sammy and Javi, but it's the excitement factor, right? It's the likability and then all the flash and the great plays he makes on the bases and in the field. Plays the game with fun, with passion. People really appreciate that. Corbin will work in. We'll find his name all over the league leaderboard in many different categories. His whip, walks plus hits per innings pitched, 1.054. Ranks 4th. Strikeout per 9 innings, just about 11. Ranks 3rd.
All right, it's his second inning. The Cubs have only had, including Contreras, 5 batters come to the plate. But does the score change Joe Maddon's offensive strategy? And you tell Baez, just be careful, or do you let him do his thing on the bases?
Well, I think with the lefty out there, you got to be careful. You know, they've been able to run on Corbin. There's been 9 steals, only 1 caught with Corbin on the mound. I don't know if that's because he's an easy read for a base runner, or the catchers just haven't been effective throwing people out.
There's a 1-2, and Contreras strikes out. Number 2 for Corbin.
Hey, Cub fans, the Cubs want everybody in as they push toward another division title. Tickets are still available for this Wednesday and Thursday's afternoon games with the Diamondbacks. Plan now to get the seats you want at Cubs.com. The weather is supposed to be beautiful all week long here. Come on out. Catch Cubs D-backs tomorrow night and then a couple of matinees.
Addison Russell swings and misses. He's batting 6th tonight. 3 times on base, scored twice on Sunday. Cardinals now lead that game in Cincinnati 1-0. Yadier Molina with an RBI single.
Yeah, this is a tough challenge because Corbin doesn't walk many, and he keeps the ball in the ballpark. He hasn't given up a home run in his last 5 starts. So you're going to need to really string together some quality at bats and get a little luck. Have a couple bloopers drop in. Maybe somebody kicks one for you, leads to a big inning, get you back into this ball game. He appears to be pretty comfortable out there right now.
Double play chance. Marte, Descalzo, Goldschmidt to end the Cubs' second inning. Baez with a leadoff single, no runs. It's 6-0 AZ. As you enjoy Miller Lite, look forward to the whole true moment later in tonight's game. Jake Lamb is second plate appearance, sac fly in the first. Shift to the right on the infield. Now towering fly ball out into right. Zobrist grabs it. I'm not going to necessarily disagree with you on the Diamondbacks uniforms. I might nitpick your comment a little bit.
Okay.
I don't mind the color scheme, but there's too much going on with the kind of the scaling and the shading on the arms and then on the helmet. And for me, and from where we sit up here, if all the lettering and numbering were light against the dark background, I would like it better. But it's really hard to read the Arizona on the front from where we sit. I don't mind that it's different.
It's just too muddy.
There's a lot going on.
Too muddy. I don't like a muddy uni. I like a clean uni that gets dirty.
Two and one.
All that really matters is if their fans like them.
Yeah, I don't know what their fans have said about it. They've tweaked the uniforms a little bit. They had kind of a red shading at the bottom of the pants. The fans thought it looked like they had bloody socks on, so they got rid of that after a year as Almora makes the grab. And it will bring up Descalzo with 2 outs. Let's see. On their page 1 of the game notes, they have their record with all the different uniforms. They have white and red, white and teal at home. They have a red uniform. They have a black uniform. They have a Los D-backs uniform. They have a throwback on the 20th anniversary. They have gray and red, gray and teal, and then other.
Yeah, see, that's just trying too hard.
Guessing the clubhouse staff stays pretty busy. All of them do, but more so with the myriad of combinations.
Starting to get the off-speed stuff down a little bit now. Starting to get the feel for it. It may be too late the way Corbin is going along, but you never know. And that's all he can do is go out there and put what has happened in the past and try to string together some decent innings.
I got a Descalzo note as Mathis comes up. There's a contextual stat that I would say is somewhat similar to runners in scoring position. It is not a good evaluating tool in terms of future performance, but it's called win probability added, WPA. Daniel Descalzo has a 2.9 WPA. That is tied for second with his teammate Goldschmidt in the National League. And well, here's how that stat reads. Given average teams, it's the change in probability caused by this batter during the game. A change of 1 in either direction equals a win. So he's been worth about 3 wins added. So like a home run in a 1-0 game means a lot more than in a blowout. So Descalzo's been pretty valuable. 6-0 D-backs in the 3rd. Say, show me the Chicago Cubs into your X1 voice remote and get live team stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Huge crowd tonight. So far, it has been all Diamondbacks. A strike on Ben Zobrist. Big weekend against the Cardinals, 5 for 10. And a ground ball to Descalso, who bobbles and has time to recover and just gets it. Before the game, the Secretary of the Illinois Department of Transportation, Randall Blankenhorn, threw out a first pitch. Nicely done. Ian Happ makes a curve for a strike. So back to that win probability added stat. Base running is counted as well. So Daniel Descalso, when he's done good stuff, he's done it in a way that has helped his team
I'm
win
just looking at some
so
splits
far
on
this
him.
year.
His OPS with men on base is up over 1,000. And I remember early in the year seeing a lot of Daniel Descalso highlights when they got hot. There in May, I guess it was, or maybe June. I don't know. They rattled off into a really good stretch. There's another swing and miss on a breaking ball. That's what Corbin's all about.
A fine rookie for the Marlins. Brian Anderson leads the National League in WPA. The Foo Fighters are back here at Wrigley Field this month for 2 shows. Tickets are still available, especially for next Monday night show, July 30th. Go to Cubs.com/concerts to secure your seats today. Farrell grounds to Descalso, and very quick 1-2-3 third for Corbin. 6-0 Arizona. More fans sharing their Cub fandom. And make sure you post your photos. Use the hashtag #AuthenticFan. And you may be featured later in the broadcast. Authentic Fan Night here on NBC Sports Chicago. And congrats to Ryan Court. Good guy, a local guy, and has had a big week with Iowa and the Pacific Coast League Player of the Week. 16 for 26, including hitting for the cycle. Court still looking to make his big league debut. 1-1 to the pitcher Corbin. Farrell's pitch going in.
Well, maybe the only thing that can slow down the Pirates is the weather. They're in a delay in Cleveland, but the Pirates lead 4-0, and that was a Corey Kluber start.
What inning?
Fourth, bottom of the third, I guess it is.
Okay.
Pirates have won 9 in a row.
Well, we'll see them in Pittsburgh, 2-game series next week. Corbin strikes out. Now John Jay. 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and a run scored.
Good hook. So all came together a little too late for Luke here tonight.
John signed as a free agent with the Royals in early March. Traded for the Diamondbacks in early June. 141 games, had a .374 on base percentage as a Cub last season. Good guy, heads up player. Give you a good at bat. And he's sitting in a 3-0 count. So he's on for the second time.
Jay, obviously a guy you want to attack. He doesn't hit for a lot of power. But sometimes, despite your best efforts, you just can't find the zone.
Goldschmidt to the opposite field.
Yeah, that's it. When you think Goldschmidt, at least me, I think alley to alley. I mean, he'll turn on an inside fastball on occasion or hanging breaking ball, but his MO is to drive the ball through the middle of the diamond, and this is a pretty impressive list. Active players, career on base plus slugging. He trails only Trout, Votto, Cabrera, and Pujols. So
that's pretty good.
That's a bunch of Hall of Famers to be. And Goldschmidt's on that track as well.
Here comes Joe. Be it for Farrell.
Yeah, I think he made the sign.
So an early move to the pen. 6-0 in the fourth. We'll be right back.
DC and let us do the planning for you. Cubs destinations travel packages include tickets, hotel accommodations, ballpark tours, Cubs swag, and a private meet and greet with a current player. For more information, visit Cubs.com/destinations.
Time now for the BioFreeze call to the pen, official external pain relief of the Chicago Cubs. Left-hander Brian Dunsing facing Paul Goldschmidt. And a man at first, and one out. Former Cub Ryan Dempster enjoying the game, and right behind him Jim Hendry, now special assistant with the Yankees, former Cubs general manager. Always good to see Jim.
Right or left mattered a whole lot to Joe. He just didn't want to give Goldschmidt another whack at Luke. Obviously seeing him very well here tonight. Brian, last time out against the Cardinals, he worked 2/3 of an inning, and that was in that 18-5 blowout loss. 2/3, 2 hits, 3 runs, a long ball. He continues his struggles.
Two and one. Cubs have a real nice group of former big league players who are advisors and special assistants, including Demp, Chris Denorfia, Ted Lilly, Kerry Wood, David Ross, Matt Merton, Kevin Youkilis, and senior advisor Hall of Famer Billy Williams. Great group. Three-two on Goldschmidt. Jay not running. Chopper to the shortstop Russell. Little underhand to Baez. And they get Jay. Fielder's choice for Goldschmidt.
Goldschmidt, one of those guys that the phone rings down in the bullpen and they say, come on, you're in for Goldschmidt. And you're like, are you sure? You know I'm left-handed, don't you?
Inside corner, a strike on David Peralta. His story is really something else. He signed with St. Louis originally as a pitcher, lefty, 2004. He still is left-handed. Runner takes off and the pitch is fouled away. He pitched briefly while he was still a teenager in the Cardinals system, 06-07. He wasn't good. His arm didn't feel good. Released by the Cardinals, went home to Venezuela. When his arm healed, he took BP, learned how to play the outfield in a league in Venezuela. Eventually moved to Florida, made some calls, hooked on with an independent club. Eventually signed a minor league deal with the Diamondbacks. Made his debut at the big league level a year later.
Lifetime .292 hitter. He has hit 16 home runs this year. That's one shy of his career best. He had 17 back in 2015.
Yeah, he didn't have an agent when he came back to the States and was told to call Eddie Dennis, who was managing the Rio Grande Valley White Wings, as he strikes out. And more on his story later. Diamondbacks lead big, 6-0 in the fourth. Follow all our Cubs insiders on NBCSportsChicago.com, presented by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side. Patrick Corbin seeking his first win since early June. It's Rizzo to foul it off.
And 7 starts since his last win on June 5th. He's gone 0-2 with a .398.
Anthony spent some time this morning at Lurie Children's Hospital visiting the patients on the oncology floor, as he often does. His foundation handed out a big check before the game tonight. He has raised a ton of money through his Rizzo Family Foundation. And drills one into center for a base hit. He has 1 for 2. And Lester raised a bunch of money on Friday, over $550,000 for his foundation, helping pediatric cancer research. So nice going, John. And also today, Kyle Schwarber visited the 25th District Police Station with officers and their families. Ball 1 on Chris Bryant. Gorgeous night here at Wrigley.
Yeah,
that north breeze feels good.
Silver lining. The score not good, but it's a beautiful evening, and still plenty of time here to mount a comeback. Ponce de Leon will not get his no-hitter. He's being removed for a pinch hitter after 7 no-hit innings.
Okay, so he will leave without allowing a hit. How about that?
116 pitches through 7.
So he might have earned another start this weekend against the Cubs, possibly.
The ability to spin the ball, to control and command 2 different breaking pitches, it's quite an attribute. And the tight slider down and in, then the off-speed breaking pitch to the back door, very confounding to right-handed hitters. It's not overpowering. Average fastball velocity 91, 92. He can touch 95.
Bryant strikes out. Aforementioned Daniel Ponce de Leon getting some help from Marcelo Zuna in the first inning, and then Dexter Fowler in the 4th. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Aldi Young with a nice play. So yeah, got some help from his defense tonight. Outside to Albert Almora. Nationals and Brewers are tied at 1 in the 3rd inning. Actually, they're just going to the 4th. In Milwaukee, the Brewers have lost 8 of 9. The Diamondbacks are 49 and 49 going into that one. Daniel Murphy is homered. Base hit to right. Good read by Rizzo, and he'll be able to advance to 3rd. Almora trying for 2, and he's out. Took a big risk down 6. And he's thrown out by John Jay.
He's got him on the right arm before the foot got on top of the bag. I think that the leg was in position, but it was in the air and the tag was applied. Overly aggressive there, down 6.
Threw his helmet in the dugout when he got down the steps. So runner at third, but 2 down, and here's Javier Baez. That's generally the case, no matter the score, but on this type of night in the middle innings, outs are so much more valuable than bases, and he knows it. One and one. Now Corbin really embracing kind of the new paradigm, and that is if you can control the soft stuff, you can have success. With all the velocity we see, and an all-star for the 2nd time in his career.
Yeah, just the hitters have a very difficult time recognize that pitch. Great arm action, really sells it. And it's just a real good tight rotation. All-star in 2013. He missed all of 2014 with Tommy John surgery and a good chunk of the following season.
Baez strikes out. Promising inning. And the Cubs fail to score. Still 6-0 after 4.
On Authentic Fan Night, and as we do on every Authentic Fan Night, we like to showcase local artists and photographers, and this picture tonight by Will Byington, who is joining me now. And tell me what you love so much about this photo.
Thanks so much for having me. As a lifelong Cubs fan who grew up in the suburbs, lived across the street from Wrigley, you can't have Wrigley Field without Chicago. So it's got the Chicago flag, It's got the marquee, iconic Wrigley all in one picture.
Well, I know I'm going to have this on my wall, but I bet you Lynn and JD would like one, so sign it and send it their way, okay?
I love Lynn and JD. Here you go. This one's for you.
Thank you, Will. Will's great. Wonderful photographer, big music fan as well. And, thank you, Will.
Hey, you go. By the magic of television, it's here already.
It's already here.
Somebody ran that up there in 2.4 seconds. So Len's going to wallpaper his den with this. With a whole bunch of these.
1-1 on A.J. Pollock.
WillByington.com is the website.
And Dunsing in relief.
The changeup.
I almost called him Will Ferrell because we were talking about Will Byington and Luke Ferrell, but it's Luke, not Will. Easy play for Zobrist.
Hey folks, tomorrow night the Cubs battle the D-backs at 7:05. It says so right here. They're going to battle them. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans receive a 1980s Cub replica away jersey presented by Benjamin Moore. Limited tickets are still available at Cubs.com.
That's going to be another pretty popular item.
Should be on the Benjamin Moore paint wheel. Cubs Road Powder Blue.
Man takes a strike. We want to send out 25th wedding anniversary wishes to Paul Mark. That's one person. And Maria Davis, who had their first date here at Wrigley Field. That's foul. Good effort. That's our buddy with the catcher's mitt. I was talking to him the other day about it.
Are they usually rocking some shades?
You know, he adds to the level of difficulty, I think, with the catcher's mitt, but it is kind of cool.
Yeah, and you always approach that ball with a little uncertainty too, because one thing, the most important part of that job is to not lay a hand on a fair ball.
He knows he's going to be on TV tonight. But see, he got on TV and we say nice things about him. I think it's nice. I say nice things. You're way harder on the ball.
No way. I'm not hard on him at all.
Yes, we'll make the play.
This is the big leagues, pal. Ain't no pink tea and mollycoddles.
What did Peralta do?
Peralta, he struck out.
Thank you.
Swinging.
I didn't mark it in.
I'm just a little upset that they stole the arms to our chairs and I can't find the power to my lamp. Hard to see at night without a lamp.
We should have a segment called Benign Complaints by Jim DeShays.
I'm going to go down. I'm going to go shake down Tim Kirkjian and say, hey, your ESPN buddies stole our arms.
Phillip Ervin with a pinch hit single for the Reds in the 8th. So no combined no hitter. Tay batting right-handed for the first time tonight.
Brian got hit around a little bit his last outing against the Cardinals. So 3 prior to that, and that's the entire body of work since coming off the disabled list were good. So 3 good ones, 1 clunker. I suspect things are going to turn around. He's just needs to get fine-tuned, get locked back in.
saying I think a
I know where the
well-located
arms-
changeup.
I know where the
again.
arms to the chair are. I'm not telling. Atlanta is all over the Marlins tonight, 10-1. Charlie Culberson, 4 out of 5 tonight. Freddie Freeman has hit a home run, his 17th. Going to be Swanson hit number 8.
Tay draws the walk. We'll bring up Descalzo. Who had to pitch recently. 2 2/3 innings. Most by a true position player since Jose Oquendo with the Cardinals back in 1988. And he pitched 4 innings. It was a 5th career pitching appearance for Descalzo on July 11th at the Rockies. And he came into the game in the 4th inning.
Pitching performance probably did not boost his win probability added number.
I think that's just an offensive number. Dunsing just robbed him. Larceny as the Diamondbacks do not score in the 5th. Still 6-zip. Options Wrigley Field has to offer for your next client, corporate, or family function, like an all-inclusive suite experience. Daily suite rentals are still available for select games throughout the season. For details, visit Cubs.com/premier. Hello, Gallagher Way. StatCast AI powered by AWS. Daniel Descalzo, 98 off the bat, right into the glove of Dunsing.
He was going to hang on to that baseball for a while.
Contreras did not get hit, believe it or not.
Yeah. Jump rope. Hit a line drive somewhere. Double would be good.
Wide one. It's 2-1.
Corbin's pretty aggressive. Just 51 pitches now. It's an interesting number. Corbin has 33 three-pitch strikeouts this year, second most in the National League, trailing Max Scherzer, who's done it 40 times. So not a big believer in the waste pitch. But the thing about him is he doesn't throw many pitches in the zone. His MO is to throw strike one and then throw that strike to ball breaking pitch that guys have such a hard time laying off.
Strike three called by Mark Carlson to get Contreras.
Yeah, so in that time he throws a backdoor. He'll get over breaking ball on 3-2. Contreras talking to himself.
Russell hit into a 6-4-3 inning ender in the second inning.
Next to the start that Corbin had here last year when he gave it up, including 3 home runs and one by John Lester. And then it's about 10 days later he pitched against the Cubs out in the desert and was really good. 6 2/3 shutout, I believe.
Line drive that will be caught by a sliding John Jay. Join NBC Sports Chicago for our next Cubs Authentic Fan Night, Thursday, August 23rd. Here at Wrigley Field, watch the Cubs host the Reds. Visit the Authentic Fan booth inside the Gallagher Way gate. Grab a pop socket while supplies last.
A what?
A pop socket. I guess it's an attachment for your phone.
Oh, okay, yep. Dodgers in Philadelphia tonight. The Phillies lead 5-4 in the 7th. Franco and Herrera and Hoskins have all gone deep. Ross Stripling giving it up tonight.
Swinging bunt. Corbin off the mound, and he'll get Zobrist, and the Cubs go quietly once again, trailing 6-0 after 5.
Field as our authentic fan night rolls on, and I am here with our authentic fan, Monica Quinones, and what a red carpet experience you're having this evening. But for fans at home that want to go through the same thing here, what made you the perfect authentic fan?
I am the perfect authentic fan because we host our family reunions here in the bleachers at Wrigley every year. There's no place like home.
And how did that start?
It started with us getting the family together to uplift one of my cousins who was battling cancer. So we got a group of our family together, we came to the bleachers, had an amazing night, and it just kind of took off from there, where there is no family reunion unless we are in the bleachers at Wrigley.
I love it. I love that you shared here on the north side and you're having such a wonderful evening. And for any of you at home who want to be an authentic fan, just enter at www.NBCSportsChicago.com/CubsAF for your chance to be the next authentic fan. And guys, Monica and her husband, they want to be ushers here at Wrigley down the road, so we could see them here in a few years. How about that when they retire? That'll be fun.
Kelly, thank you. We really enjoyed chatting with Monica and her husband Ronnie. And they are ardent Cub fans, and we're thrilled to be here tonight. 2-0 on the pitcher Corbin. Mathis grounded out in the first pitch of the inning. Six nothing. Diamondbacks got 5 in the first, 1 in the second.
The sideways handle on the dog. It's a different approach.
2-2.
Well, you can attack from either end. You could eat it like an ear of corn.
Can I make an admission?
Mm-hmm.
I don't do the corn on the cob thing anymore.
No?
It's stuck in my teeth. It's
too much
too much work.
Too much post-corn effort. Not the risk reward is not there for you.
Yeah, it's just not. I like it.
You get a good
right
corn, time of the year, sweet corn.
Corbin basically pulled that ball right out of Contreras' mitt. Able to stay alive.
Corbin did not play baseball until his junior year of high school. Showed up at the tryout wearing jeans. Told the coaches he wanted to pitch. He was a basketball star. Could dunk from a standing position. Started after high school. He played basketball and baseball at Mohawk Valley Community College. That's in Utica. Down the road from the Thunder Mifflin office there. And then on to Chipola Junior College in Florida.
He said hometown Clay. Right?
Yeah. It's near Syracuse, Cicero, North Syracuse High School. Once a big Yankee fans growing up. His dad, right? I don't think we've heard that story before. And due to be a free agent, someone's going to give him a lot of money.
And he strikes out for the third time. 2 gone. Friday, August 3rd, the Cubs take on the Padres at 1:20 p.m. up to the first 5,000 early arriving adults 21 and older in the Budweiser bleachers receive a Cubs umbrella hat presented by Budweiser. For tickets and details, visit Cubs.com/Fridays. Maybe they know something about the forecast we don't. It's a functional and fashionable item. Dunsing's 1-0 to Jay. He's hit in the air, slicing drive foul to left. 1-1 the count. Cubs will not have to deal with Zach Greinke in this series. He was lights out again yesterday.
13 strikeouts.
He's 11-5 with a 3.05. An all-star for the 5th time.
Yeah, I saw an article the other day talking about Zach Greinke, making a pretty compelling case. He's on his way to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Punched out into left center. Almora was not playing deep. Little leap and a catch, and he'll keep running on into the dugout. Cubs need to get it going here sooner than later. Down 6.
Parking and shuttle service for night and weekend games, and a free bike check located by the Addison Red Line station. Pace Express buses are also available from Hillside and Rolling Meadows. Check out available transportation and parking options at cubs.com/transportation.
Ball 1 on Ian Happ. Jason Hayward on deck to hit for Dunsing. Game 99 for the Chicago Cubs. Best record in the NL, 58-40. Kyle Hendricks tomorrow for the Cubs. Clay Buchholz, a veteran right-hander, due to come off the DL. He's been dealing with an oblique issue.
Cubs have 3 hits tonight with a double play, and Almora thrown out trying to stretch a single into a double. And Hogan has faced just 1 over the minimum. Really set up to pitch deeply into this ball game as Randy Rosario heats it up in the Cub bullpen.
Club to left. And over the head of Peralta. Happ into second base with a double. First extra base hit for the Cubs.
I'm talking with Ian the other day, and we're talking about all the information that is available to hitters, and talking about how you can know if you want what a pitcher throws X% of the time on any given count. And that's a lot of information to digest. And among the things Ian focuses on is 3-2. Where does he like to go to 3-2? Because he takes a lot of pitches, works a lot of deep counts, and finds himself in those 3-2 situations a lot. And I wouldn't be surprised if he told you after this ball game that he was sitting on that slider.
Nice hand for Jason Hayward, not in the lineup, coming off the bench to pinch hit. First pitch, strike, bottom of the zone. Corbin turned to 29 last week. As JD mentioned, he will be a free agent after the season. Corbin was not used in last year's postseason. The Diamondbacks won the wild card game and were swept by the Dodgers in the division series. Earlier this year, he took a no-hitter into the 8th against San Francisco on April 17th. Ultimately completed a one-hit shutout. He's been good and efficient so far tonight. Those things generally go hand in hand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and early on he was lights out. Early on in the season, I mean, he's been good throughout, but especially good early. Racking up high strikeout games, wasn't walking anybody. And for the season, he came in with a strikeout to walk ratio better than 4-1, one of the tops in the league.
Two and two. Tough night for Luke Farrell. 3 1/3, 6 runs on 6 hits. Scary moment in the first inning. A rocket right back at him. Glanced off his left wrist. And missed hitting him in the head by maybe a foot, if that.
The second time tonight that Corbin has had to pitch with a man in scoring position, and he's slowing things down just a little bit here.
Outside, 3 and 2. Rizzo on deck. Leadoff double by Happ. Cubs trying to shade this deficit. Make sure the liner got through, so he'll be held at third, and they got him at the corners with nobody out. Pinch hit single, good at that.
Well, here you go. It's go time, bottom of the 6th. Third time through the order coming up with a couple guys on base, and nice job staying on that breaking pitch and delivering a line drive into right. Beautiful work off the bench by Hayward. Solid single to center last time up. Coach will serve him well here. They've got the shift on. 3 on the right side of the infield. Marte the pivot man on the right side of second base.
Backhanded play, Descalso, and they'll get him out at second. A run scores. But a nice play by Descalso after he bobbled. He just kind of shoved that ball over to Marte at second to get one out. It's now 6-1.
Interesting play, because when it's first hit, you're thinking, oh no, double play. Then you're thinking, hey, wait a minute here. They might not get anybody. But he guides that ball to Marte at short after the mishandle. That's most impressive.
The crowd reacting, I think, to the video, but he was clearly out. Rizzo back to the bag. 6-1. He gets an RBI. His 65th of the year. Rizzo nearing 1,000 games. This is career game number 997. He's got 982 career hits. Bryant pops it foul, out of play.
Diamondback bullpen, collectively a 2.99 ERA, tops in the league, just ahead of the Cubs.
Nothing in 2 to Chris Bryant. Torey Lovullo served a suspension earlier this year. 1 game for an argument in St. Louis in April. He was upset about a strike call and pointed at Yadier Molina. The argument was with Tim Timmons, but he basically was saying, don't let that guy influence you. And I think there were a couple of expletives thrown in there, and Yadi got upset. Benches cleared briefly. Both guys got suspended for a game. Should also note about the Diamondbacks pitching, which has been very good. They've been dealing with injuries. Taijuan Walker, Tommy John surgery. Buchholz comes back from the DL tomorrow. Robbie Ray had a DL stint. Shelby Miller has an elbow injury.
Yeah, remember they made that big trade for Shelby Miller a couple years back, and that just has not worked out at all for the Diamondbacks.
Well, they had a 6-game lead on May 1st, and they got cold, and they recovered in June. Recently, it hasn't gone very well. They've lost 12 of their last 19, and they trail the Dodgers by a game and a half. In the National League West, they're not in a wild card position either. They're third. They're a game out. They've got a 6-1 lead here tonight. Swing and a miss. Bryant is out. 2 Cubs retired, and it'll be up to Albert Almora.
Again, swinging this slider. So you know the scouting report. You can look at all the video you want, but when it comes to playing the game, if you don't pick up that spin, you don't recognize it, it's really tough to lay off. He's not hanging it. He's going to get a lot of swings and misses. Shelby Miller has made 4 starts this year for the Diamondbacks. He made 4 all of last year. 2016 he made 20 and had a 6.15 ERA.
Low on Almora. The Reds beat the Cardinals 2-1. How about that?
Bullpen has had their issues.
Knocked down by Corbin. Not sure where it got him, but it looks like he's all right. And the Cubs have to settle for 1 in the 6th.
To the 7th, Cubs trailing 6-1 with this Miller Lite game report. Kyle Schwarber getting the night off, but he was busy this afternoon visiting the 25th District Police Station and visiting with the officers, their families. He took them pizza and had lunch with them and said it was just a really good time getting to have good conversations. He even got a behind-the-scenes look at the station, which he said was really cool. But with a father who is a police chief, a mother who's a nurse and also works the dispatch center, and a sister in the National Guard, you can understand why he loves to go and just chat and put smiles on the faces of the neighborhood heroes. That is all part of his campaign, guys.
Very cool, Kelly. Thank you. Randy Rosario to Paul Goldschmidt, and a first pitch strike.
Well, the young lefty is 4-0 with a 2.15 ERA as he works for the 25th time.
It was, as we see, Zobrist. Hayward left center right now. An Eugenio Suarez homer to tie that game in Cincinnati, and then Dilson Herrera won it with a single. They got it done against Bud Norris. So more bullpen issues for the Cardinals. And that is a real heartbreaker after what Daniel Ponce de Leon did. Historic major league debut, 7 shutout, scoreless innings. Three and one.
So Goldschmidt got 2 looks at Farrell, 1 at Dunsing. Now he faces yet another pitcher, and it's the lefty Rosario who's got to make a pitch here on 3-1. Down below the knees.
Just like we promised, time now for the Miller Lite hold true moment. Wasn't that bad a pitch, but Paul Goldschmidt is one of the best in the business, and he took that outside pitch out of the park. Slightly similar approach in terms of his stance to Chris Bryant. Rosario will head over to the bag. Flip. Got him. Close play, but it'll go 3-1.
Very close play. Diamondbacks look like they're waiting on a decision from the video room whether to challenge or not.
7th inning. Yeah, you might want to.
They are, yeah. They're going to go take a look at it.
You know, I think once you get to the 7th, any 50-50 or even 40-60 call, I think you have to challenge. We had one the other night in the Saturday night game. I don't know if you saw it. There was a play at second base. I can't remember who the runner was for the Cardinals. Or no, it was the Cubs. It was Wilson Contreras. I believe it was Colton Wong who applied the tag.
Yes.
And it looked like the ball was in the glove, and then Contreras' arm came down. The ball came out of the glove, and it felt like kind of an automatic challenge. The Cardinals did not challenge that call.
Yeah, I think
you get in the 6th or 7th,
I think it would have been overturned too. Yeah. This is interesting because it looks like he beat it. It looks like Goldschmidt's foot got down before Rosario's, but it's really hard to tell for sure. Remember, the call on the field was out. It looks like Randy's foot is hovering over the bag. We'll get a good look at it here. I mean, clearly he's leading the race, but at the end, it's just a little soft as he puts his foot down on the bag, and it looked like Goldschmidt had beat him. But I don't know if they're going to be able to make a clear determination.
This is one of those calls I hearken back to when we started this thing, and you made the point essentially that replay was not instituted for that type of play.
Yeah, and this was
so close.
You know, I saw this tweet that Adam Wainwright had put out the other day, and the guys on the Baseball Network were talking about it this morning. And Wainwright made a number of interesting points about how he thinks the game should be tweaked, and he says replay only for egregious plays, and you don't get to review them in a video room. You see it, you don't like the call, you throw your flag. You get 2 flags a game, so there's no delay to ponder. So with that, you would lose a little bit of let's get every call as right as possible, but you would also lose lengthy delays while they review video first in the video room behind the dugout, and secondarily in the replay review room back in New York.
Diamondbacks bench incredulous, but don't know how you could conclusively overturn it. In fact, had you just looked at that replay and said make a call, I think you're flipping a coin.
Yeah.
Without knowing what the initial call was. Peralta pops it up. This will be out number 2. Russell has it.
Brian Dunsing tonight looked good. 2 2/3 scoreless. He walked a man, struck out 2. 39 pitches, 26 for strikes. So that will probably render him unavailable for tomorrow night. A good solid effort this evening.
That game has resumed in Cleveland. They're in the bottom of the 6th. The Pirates lead 7-0 as they look for their 10th consecutive win. Corey Dickerson without a home run tonight to this point, but he has 5 over his last 4 games. Pollock is going to have an infield hit. No throw from Bryant.
Yeah, good decision. He had a long way to go to come and get that slow roller. He was not going to get him.
Time for our Old Dominion bringing his best. Kind of a shoo-in. Anthony Rizzo made a case, but when you hit 6 home runs over a 4-game period, he went homerless yesterday. You're pretty much going to clinch it, as Matt Carpenter did. I believe Rougned Odor of the Rangers.
Yeah, that's right.
The American League Player of the Week. 0-1 on Jake Lamb.
Lamb has struggled throughout his career against left-handed pitching. Pollock, the threat to run. He has stolen 10 bases this year in 12 tries.
And just able to get out of the way. He missed 39 games earlier with a left shoulder injury.
Yeah, so that's where the optimism lies for the Diamondbacks, right? The fact that they're getting some of their, well, they've been back for a while now, but Lamb, Pollock, some of these other guys, get them healthy, get them in a good rhythm, and the offense may spike. Production from right field hasn't been good. Behind the plate hasn't been good.
And Steven Souza Jr. not in their lineup tonight. 2 DL stints with a pec injury, and not that anyone was going to replace the production of JD Martinez in his time with Arizona last year, but they're certainly hoping for more than what they've gotten out of that position. .62 games last year with Arizona. JD Martinez hit 29 home runs.
That's pretty good, eh?
Yeah. Slugged .741.
Why didn't they bring him back?
It's Ruthian. Only got $109.95 million from the Red Sox.
It's chump change. Today's baseball, the money these clubs are making. This year, JD Martinez has hit 29 home runs and 363 at bats, slugging .631. The baseball looks that big to JD Martinez.
It does, and it has for a few years now. Got him looking. Nick Offerman is here, and the 7th inning stretch is brought to you by St. Xavier University.
Tonight's guest conductors for Take Me Out to the Ball Game, lifelong Cubs fan Nick Offerman and Rusty Schwimmer.
All right, Chicago, let me hear ya! A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I ever get back. Oh, let's root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2.
Good to see Nick Offerman. Swinging strike on Javier Baez. Rusty Schwimmer also singing with Nick tonight. Good harmonies.
Yeah, good swing too. Good swing going on.
Rusty, by the way, attended New Trier in Winnetka as Baez rounds out.
Watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home, in the office, or on the go with MLB.TV. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Wide of third, it's foul.
Patrick Corbin has been in the zone pretty much all night long. He's one of those grooves as a pitcher where he can almost visualize what's going to happen before he makes the pitch.
So I have to ask you quickly about Nick Offerman. What show or movie or book do you think of when you think of Nick Offerman? Anything in particular?
Parks and Rec.
Yeah, that's what most people would say.
Yeah.
I'm going to go as Contreras strikes out. I'm going to go off the board a little bit. He had a really cool role on one season of Fargo. Have you seen the TV show?
I've only seen the first season.
I think he was on season 2.
All right.
And he's excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's kind of the town philosopher.
More motivation to crank it back up.
He's excellent.
U of I guy, right?
Yes. Yes, he is. To Russell. Did he hold? Nope. It's Bruce Dreckman making the call at first. Corbin's 1-1. Shot in the right for a base hit.
Hit number 6 for the Cubs. 5 singles and a half double.
Located.
Yeah. And Jeff Mathis, the catcher, tonight has a very good reputation, and these two guys really working well together. Soft and hard, up, down, in, out. Brewers have a 3-1 lead in Milwaukee tonight. They're playing the Nationals. They're in the bottom of the 6th. Luis Chacin has struck out 9. He's allowed 1 run on 2 hits through 5 2/3. He's yielded now. Haters and their Gio Gonzalez pitching for the Nats. Ooh, boy, you never see that from Zoe.
Out of my way, tool of the state. Fargo fans will get it. 6-1 Diamondbacks. Some more great photos from our Cubs Authentic fans. Thanks for sharing your fandom. We'll see you for our next Authentic Fan Night, August 23rd. Ketel Marte looks at ball one from Randy Rosario. Another delay in Cleveland. In the 6th inning, 7-0 Pirates. But that game is official no matter what happens. Milwaukee, at last check, has a 3-1 lead, bottom of the 6th over Washington. Happ makes the catch. Veteran left-hander Jorge De La Rosa. Caught the corner, 94 from Rosario.
Rosario's got good enough fastball for sure, and good slider, but he doesn't generate a lot of swings and misses. He's a really big strikeout pitcher so far.
The pitch looked better than the first.
Omar Garcia-Parra celebrating a birthday today. Omar is 45 today. An outstanding career, a couple seasons here with the Cubs.
Career .313 hitter.
And believe Bob Brennan was telling us before the game that he had a 3-homer game on his birthday one year.
3 homers in 2 innings. Scalzo takes the walk. Bad news for the Brewers in terms of their starting pitching. As left-hander Brent Suter has an elbow injury. So what do they have in store here at the non-waiver deadline?
Well, yeah,
coming up.
They pursued Quintana last year. Obviously, the Cubs got him. They were in the Machado deal for a bit this year. He went to the Dodgers. And the problem now is everybody in the world knows they need pitching, so it's a tough bargaining position they're in.
Jimmy Nelson still hasn't come back from shoulder surgery. Zach Davies has right rotator cuff inflammation. He's on the DL. Junior Guerra, forearm tightness. Now Suter.
Seems like they would make a run at Jay Happ. Maybe Chris Archer. Archer's name has been circulated out there in trade rumors. He's coming off a big strikeout game last time out. Apparently continue to look for infield help as well, having missed out on Machado. They've been linked to Brian Dozier for the Twins.
Now I haven't looked at their roster and kind of gone through each relief pitcher. If you don't make a move, you can use somebody from your minor league system who's been starting. I wonder, do they have anybody in their bullpen they would consider converting, trying to stretch out to be a 4 or 5 inning starter, since that's kind of the strength.
Brandon Woodruff, maybe. Woodruff has been a starter, and I think he's currently in their bullpen.
Yep, he is. Foul tip, 2-2 on Mathis, who capped that 5-run first with a 2-run double. Nick Ahmed is on deck to bat for Corbin. Another foul. Mathis was forced to pitch in a tie game in extra innings against the Padres recently. It was July 8th. He caught the first 15 innings, had to take the mound in the 16th. He got 2 outs, and then Will Myers took him deep. And San Diego won the game. They get 1. Almost got him both. Good try.
Yeah, softly hit. Nice work here by Anthony. That spinning ball has to move to the inside a little bit to create that angle. And Mathis able to just barely beat it out there at first.
Here's Ahmed, who has cranked 12 home runs, his career high. No more for his glove work at short. Inside corner.
Yeah, just a 286 on base percentage, but 430 slugging. So that leads me to believe he's just made a decision up to be a little bit more aggressive, try to pull the ball, hit with more authority, and sacrifice, the batting average in the on base so he could slug a little bit.
The ball kicks away and allows Mathis to get to second. Chances are Mathis is not going to be able to advance had that ball not gotten that far away.
Oh boy, had a chance to win the battle of the ball boys tonight. Defensive run saves, just took a little bit of a hit.
What would be really cool in this era of shifting, with certain hitters, the ball boy down the right field line would go over and join.
Play two.
The guy in left, play two over there and leave right field unoccupied, because the stats show that 86% of his foul balls are pulled to left.
Yeah,
to right.
and he could play one. He could play a little bit deeper or a little bit shallower than the other guy on the pull side. So I was mentioning that, though, Adam Wainwright tweet. One of the other things he suggested was to eliminate the shift. And a lot of people have been talking about that around the game here lately. Some have argued you have to have two on either side of second base. The glove turned the wrong way a couple of times, once on that ball in the dirt and here. Yeah, maybe crossed up. So yeah, some have argued two on either side of second base. Others have argued that there should be a rule that all infielders have to start with at least 1 foot in the dirt.
Then you have to regulate the dirt.
Yeah, and what about this? I'm not really advocating for eliminating shifts, but I'd be open to it. You could have three guys on one side of the infield, but they all had to be in the dirt. But if you had two guys, you could play your second baseman, say, out in shallow right if you want.
Okay. I think I'd be open to the idea of an infielder having to have maybe 1 foot just touching the dirt. The idea that the infield, is the infield, outfield, and the exception would be the 5-man infield you still could employ if you wanted. You can have as many on the dirt as you want, but at least the 4 infielders. That makes sense to me and doesn't seem drastic, and it's not really banning a shift.
Yeah, and I don't know that we even need to do it, because the biggest issue that people seem to have is pace of play, and I don't know that shifting or not shifting affects pace of play.
No, I don't either.
I think it's more of a function of bullpen usage, high velocity guys. It's difficult to put the ball in play because there's so many good arms in the game. I am starting to warm to the idea of limited pitchers per staff, so that you would have to have more guys in your bullpen capable of pitching multiple innings, so you'd have fewer mid-inning pitching changes where you're playing the matchup game, lefty righty, lefty righty. I mean, the strategy part of it is interesting, and that will still exist. If you limit the number of guys out there available, managers would have to be more cautious how they use them.
Toward the hole and through. Would have been a really tough play for Russell, even if he had backhanded it, and it's 7-1. So there's nobody up in the bullpen.
Is he going to let Rizzo pitch?
He is.
Yep.
He's finally going to let him do it. Rizzo has been begging Joe forever to pitch. And is this? No, he's going to give it to Caratini.
He just deked Rizzo. He just deked Anthony.
So Caratini's going to pitch for the second time on this homestand. We're in the top of the 8th. So Rizzo still might get a chance in the 9th. Saying to Chris, what do I have to do to pitch? Joe joked the other day he had to take Rizzo out of the game so he wouldn't beg him to pitch. Kyle Freese called to the pen. Well, we now have a scouting report on Victor Caratini, and JD will now read that.
Yeah, do we have that graphic with the pitch usage? We pop that up there. He throws his 64-mile-an-hour fastball 98% of the time. He did try a little Ephus La kind of pitch the other day. It didn't work out for him.
Yeah, he gave up a 2-run homer to Jairo Munoz. John Jay, didn't he pitch last year?
Yep.
For the Cubs?
Yep. This may be the closest game I've ever seen a position player pitch in.
The more intriguing question, and we've talked to Joe kind of hypothetically, is what game situation with a lead would make you use a position player? What is that magic number? 10-run lead with 3 outs to go. 12-run lead. Way up in the air, so Caratini throws one pitch. And gets John Jay. 7-1 in the 8th. Victor Caratini would be the pitcher of record.
Well, let's get him a W, and they're going to have to go through the Diamondback bullpen. And first out of the chute is Jorge De La Rosa. He's working for the 41st time, 0-2 with a 4.86 ERA. 33 1/3, 36 hits. So 6 long balls. Has a real good changeup.
So here's one big reason, and maybe the main reason. And Joe is chatting with Anthony in the dugout why he hasn't used Rizzo to pitch. He's an everyday player, and Joe is very, very sensitive to the idea of guys get sore when they pitch. They're not used to doing it. And so if you use Rizzo to pitch tonight, you don't want to have to sit him like Wednesday or Thursday because his obliques are bugging him. You're not worried about him blowing out his elbow or something, but guys just get sore.
Well, and if a guy goes out there and tries to hump up a little bit and throw 92, he could blow out his elbow.
Right. Bounding ball to the shortstop. Ned into the game, and you can see how strong an arm he has. Hefty home run time. Baez and Schwarber leading the club with 19.
Mentioned
Marte playing second, by the way.
Okay.
Sorry, JD, and Ahmed at short.
So I was going to say, we mentioned a couple times that the Diamondbacks have the best bullpen ERA in the league, 2.99. But it's they go about it a different way in terms of fastball velocity. They're dead last in the National League. They're last in bullpen strikeouts. They don't have a whole bunch of power arms out there. They've got guys that know how to pitch. They use the changeup more than any other pen in the league.
We're starting to pull away from the Nationals leading 6-1 in the 7th. So if these scores hold up, Cubs lead would drop to 2.5. Pirates would get to within 7. Cardinals lost, so they're back to 500. Right now are 9 back. At the end of the bat, fouled out of play. Out number 2. Rizzo with 2 gone, nobody on. RBI fielder's choice in the 6th. Right, so right now the Diamondbacks have 2 infielders on the grass in the outfield. Shortstop Ahmed and the second baseman Marte. If we simply said they had to have both feet on the dirt as the pitch is being delivered, it would be essentially no big deal. Some second basemen play 30 feet out into the right field grass. And that's typically what they do against Rizzo. That's why the shift tends to hurt left-handed hitters more than righties. He strikes out De La Rosa with a 1-2-3-8. 7-1 Diamondbacks as we head to the ninth. Cubs Authentic Fan Night here on NBC Sports Chicago. Great to have you with us. Diamondbacks scored early. 6 of their runs came in the first 2 innings. As Victor Caratini, who threw 1 pitch to get John Jay to end the 8th, will now face Paul Goldschmidt. Cubs might want to play like a 7-man outfield here.
If I was Victor, when I threw the ball, I would start to backpedal like they do in slow pitch softball.
There's a base hit to center.
Mentioned this the other day when Victor was out there, and the other position players, Estella and Happ. You got to be careful. You got to be ready to defend yourself in case there's a rocket hit back at you. And when you go out there as a position player, a lot of times you just, I'm just going to play catch, throw a little easy BP. But when you throw BP, you have an L screen in front of you. He doesn't have that luxury, so you got to be really mindful of the potential for something to come screaming back at you.
High is Russell to Rizzo. So David Peralta used to be a pitcher. Hit that ball hard, but into a double play.
Caratini likes to sink the fastball, and it's usually just gravity taking over.
And Anthony's going to get a chance. Joe Madden brings out the gloves. So he's going to give Anthony a regular mitt. Caratini will put on the first baseman's glove. And here we go. He finally gets his wish.
He's been lobbying hard for this. We saw him in the clubhouse yesterday. So I'm the best guy. I'm the best pitcher among the position players. He was a good high school pitcher. I remember reading a scouting report on him from his high school days, flipping back through a couple of years ago, and he would throw 90. That's not going to be his plan here tonight.
Walk-up music as he gets loose.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the Cubs, number 7, Victor Caratini moves from the mound to first base. This pitching change brought to you by NG, proud to be the official battery supplier of the year.
It's been one.
So it's a biofreeze call to the pen. Joe made the call to first base.
A little something working.
Why not?
Really capturing the moment.
We have better cameras for it. They could watch it later, but let them. He looks like he's not quite sure what to do. There's his family cheering him on. Mom and his fiance.
Tip of the cap from Pollock.
He should drill him. So that's for all the guys who've hit me 100 times. No sign given. Pitch. Breaking ball outside at 54. Probably his fastball.
Just slowing him down.
Fly ball to center. Rizzo's ERA 0. He got his wish. 7-1. Depot goes to Patrick Corbin.
Yeah, pretty easy call. He was outstanding right from the get-go here tonight. Really took command of this game. 7 innings, a 1-run ball. He did not walk a man. He struck out 9. 98 pitches, 70 for strikes. Had all kinds of swings and misses at his slider, just like that one right there. On his way to his 7th win.
Benny's Beverage Depot is the official champagne provider of the Chicago Cubs. Matt Cook. Unsaved spot.
15th appearance for the right-hander Cook. Not overpowering. 92 with a heater. Likes to cut it. Curveball and a changeup. Anthony's got something to talk about for a while.
An adrenaline rush for Anthony Rizzo, who gave up a home run to Pedro Strop last year, kind of messing around at Wrigley Field. Chris Bryant takes outside. So I want you to answer the question. Will we see a manager with a lead at some point use a position?
You know, I possibly.
Why wouldn't you?
I think there's a fear of the old, you know, rubbing it in somebody's face kind of thing.
We're at the point now where this is a common occurrence. We see position players pitching. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Why waste a bullpen arm if you're up 17-2? In the 8th inning.
Right, and I'm not saying you would or should, but I'm saying the reason why a lot of them wouldn't and probably won't.
Okay.
I think there's the fear of somebody on the other side really getting upset and drilling one of your guys, or, you know, something silly like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense.
Now that lead would have to be pretty big with not much time left to cover. And that's where you could go position player, and if you get in trouble, you got one bullpen guy just in case. But then I guess the other theory is if you have a guy waiting to either warm up or warming up, might as well just use it.
Well, I mean, I think your point is valid that if you have an opportunity to save an arm in the bullpen, it's worth trying. And it's, you know, what's the magic number? How big a lead? And then what happens on the other side? You fear reprisals from the other side. It may depend on the relationship between the two managers.
Well, for me, the one time where I don't think the other team would bat an eye is if they're using a position player, right? So the Rockies, that game when the Diamondbacks used 2 position players to cover the last 4 1/3, something like that. And if the Rockies are up 19-1 in the 8th inning and you're batting against a position player,
yeah.
No other team could be upset.
Well, you'd be surprised what these guys get upset about.
Yeah, that's probably true. Baez with his 2nd hit tonight on his bobblehead night, and it'll bring Contreras to the dish.
Four-game set here with the Diamondbacks, and Corbin really set the tone for Torey Lovello's group by pitching 7 innings, and then the Diamondbacks having this comfortable lead. He gets to save the guys he likes to, you know, to finish out tight games. The bullpen's good to go for tomorrow.
West is not going to steal. I'm going to tie up the Cubs rally here with 2 outs. They score 7 runs and win, and Rizzo gets the win. That might be the greatest thing that's ever happened in the history of the sport.
I thought you were going to say I'm going to walk to spring training next year.
No, I'm not making any sort of bets. Or if this, then that.
Matt Cook here is from Cherokee, Iowa. Population 5,253 as of the 2010 census, yet has its own symphony orchestra. How about that?
Very cool. Get down. Nope. Caught by John Jay, and that'll do it. The Diamondbacks take the opener. 7-1 the final. Cubs had to use a 6th starter tonight, and as you mentioned, by the time Luke Farrell got it together, it was already 6-0.
Yeah, and with Corbin being as good as he was tonight, the game was pretty much over in the first inning. It's unfortunate because, you know, later on in his outing, he started to develop, talking about Luke, got the feel for his breaking ball, and had he had it early, would have been able to pitch a more competitive game, but he did not. Corbin was spot on right from the start.
So that will wrap things up for JD, for Kelly, and our entire NBC Sports Chicago crew here at Wrigley Field. Thanks for joining us on Cubs Authentic Fan Night. Final score, Diamondbacks 7, Cubs 1. We're back with you Wednesday, 12:30 for our pregame coverage. 1:21 pitch for Game 3. Coming up next, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois post-game live.